It has been a long, hard fight just to get where we are today with reproductive rights in America.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die.
To understand where we are, let's go all the way back to where we started. To the 19th century, when abortions were actually totally legal. In the 1800s, abortions were allowed under common law and widely practiced. Even the Catholic Church accepted it. It wasn't until 1850 when a campaign made by the newly formed American Medical Association politicized reproductive rights. Doctors, politicians, and religious leaders sought to restrict reproductive rights for a few reasons, ranging from professional to religious. The AMA's efforts eventually led to 40 states and territories passing anti-abortion laws between 1860 and 1880, one of which was the Comstock Act. Passed in 1873, the act made sending anything related to birth control or abortion through the mail illegal. Not just that, the laws said that just talking about contraception was obscene, and doctors could be jailed for prescribing any kind to patients. By 1899, contraceptives and abortion were illegal nationwide, but women brought their fight to control fertility into the 20th century. Cut to October 16, 1916. An Irish Catholic nurse named Margaret Sanger opened the country's first birth control clinic in Brooklyn. She was arrested under the Comstock Law, remember that one? But that didn't stop her. Sanger's clinic eventually grew to become the international women's health organization, Planned Parenthood. It would be a whole 2 decades before the federal ban on birth control was lifted. But remember, this was 1938. Contraception simply meant condoms and diaphragms. Fast forward to 1960. The pill was finally approved as contraception. Initial research funding provided by, you guessed it, Margaret Sanger. The pill had been available before, but it was prescribed for irregular menstruation, with birth control listed as a possible side effect. By 1959, 500,000 women were taking the pill for its side effect. That made it possible for American women to separate sexuality and childbearing. Research challenged the belief that women did not enjoy sex and were merely passive partners, sparking what was dubbed the sexual revolution to spread across America. While the federal ban on birth control was lifted in 1938, states could still implement their own law restricting reproductive rights. You've probably heard of that little SCOTUS case called Roe versus Wade, right? Well, in 1973, the Supreme Court heard the case of anonymous Jane Roe, an unmarried Texas mother who claimed the state violated her constitutional rights by banning abortions. The court agreed and made it illegal for states to interfere with first trimester abortions. Since that case, the battle lines have been drawn between pro-choice supporters of abortion rights and pro-life opponents who want to overturn the Roe decision. According to the Guttmacher Institute, states have enacted more than 1,000 laws to limit access to abortions. More than a quarter of these laws were passed between 2010 and 2015.